All right, there you have it. President Trump, he has a right to boast on the policy, which appears to be working very well. Let's talk to Alabama Senator, the great Tommy Tuberville. Mr. Tuberville, as always, sir, welcome. Bunch of things to talk about, but really the, Trump tariff derangement syndrome has not played out well for Mr. Trump's critics. Stocks are doing well, the economy's doing well, the inflation rate is down. And I know the deadline is tonight and tomorrow's August 1st. Are you worried? I mean, they've made deals or extensions with most of the big companies, and they're raking in a lot of money. Doesn't seem like it's bad to me. What's your take?
The legacy media, Larry, and the Democrats are running for cover. The people manufacturing, people in Canada and Mexico are beating my door down here in Washington, D.C., wanting to move manufacturing to Alabama and to America. They don't know what to say, Larry. The Democrats they're lost for words. This is their worst nightmare. President Trump, we all knew he'd be successful if you just let him loose, and they did, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to win. He's going to win a lot more. He's not finished yet, but I like what Howard Lutnick says. This will help pay our debt down. I've been saying that all along. This is the only way we can pay our debt down is through tariffs.
How about if you cut tax rates, grow the economy? Then you could bring the debt as a share of GDP down.
Well, tell your buddy Jerome Powell. I mean, we've all told him up here. We talk to him quite often, and I don't know. He's just a political hack. I tell you, it just shows you he's a day late and a dollar short, Larry. He was late raising rates back in 2021, and now he's late lowering rates. But he lowered rates right before Kamala Harris' election, trying to get her elected. It's just a shame. That's the deep state up here. That's the whole city of Washington, D.C., and President Trump's given them a good lesson in economics.
Well, Senator, have you been to his Taj Mahal? I mean, have you actually seen it? You probably thought that Taj was in India, but it's actually on C Street, not far from where you are. You've been down there, sir?
I have not been down there, Larry, but can you believe that they did this, spend $3 billion on this nonsense when we've got all these empty buildings in the city here? I mean, you don't need something new to make one or two decisions a year. It makes no sense to me, but President Trump's on to him. Jerome Powell will pay the price for this. I don't know whether he'll fire him, but he's going to make it awful hard on him for the next 6-7 months.
So Senator Cruz was on, talked to me about this. The Fed is paying $168 billion, $168 billion a year to banks on their reserves, 4.5%, okay? It's a nice, tidy sum, risk-free. But half of that, nearly half of that money, goes to foreign banks, which strikes me as a big, I don't know if it's a waste of money, it's just something we shouldn't be doing, is giving away free money to foreign banks. And furthermore, the Fed is losing $100 million a year because of their income statement, asset and liability mismatch. Now, there has to be some big changes at the Fed. Whoever runs the Fed next, okay, somebody new is going to run the Fed next couple months. Powell's term's coming to an end. All these things, Cruz, others, other senators have, there's got to be reforms of the Federal Reserve. We can't let this continue.
Yeah, it's no different than the rest of the city up here, Larry. It has to have reforms. It has to be put in its place. Again, it's like everything else that's gone on since I've been here for the last 5 years. Anything that the Democrats passed up here in some kind of bill, whether it was Inflation Reduction Act, whether it was something to do with the Infrastructure Act, half the money goes overseas. It doesn't stay in our country. It goes out. And being a non-politician, it has taken me a long time to understand it. Now, all you got to look at it is just theft, and that's what we found out with USAID. But you're exactly right. I listened to Ted Cruz give a speech the other day and talking about that money going out of the country and the banks paying off banks. It's absolutely nonsense.
So I don't know if you listen to Howard Lutnick, who's done an awfully good job. So we've got this government-to-government money coming in. It's very interesting. It's a new wrinkle, right? South Korea is pledging, what, $350 billion. Japan, maybe $550 billion. European Union, maybe $600 billion, and so forth and so on. Do we know what the channel is? Do we know the mechanism that the money comes in? The president seems to want to control the distribution of the revenues. the U.S. government will take 90% of the profits. Has anybody talked through that? Has there been any legislation? Has there been any, putting heads together and figuring out the best way to do it? It's a very clever idea. I think it's a very useful idea, but I'm not sure anybody, maybe including myself, understands the details of how it might work.
Yeah, I hope it does not go through us over in Congress because it'll get lost in the shuffle. I hope they turn it over to Scott Bessent, Kevin Hassett, Ludnick, all the people that have got us in this position. They know where to put the money. And as we heard earlier from Howard Ludnick, it's about energy. Larry, we're so far behind in energy in this country. We think we could beat China right now. They can build a bridge in 3 months. It takes us 3 years because of energy and AI. That cannot continue to happen. And a lot of that money that you're talking about is going to have to go into energy, and it's going to have to go into AI.
So what about, think of the other side, though. If Europe makes good and they buy, what was the number, 700 billion or 750 billion, I presume that's going to be liquid natural gas. All right, so our producers will produce. We're the best in the world. They have incentives for deregulation, depreciation, and so forth. But meanwhile, how about get Europe weaning off of Russian energy, which would be a tremendous thing, given the Ukraine war and lots of other things. Brings us closer to Europe. We make some money on the deal. I mean, I think it's a terrific idea.
100%. After Biden blew up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, they were weaned off of energy from Russia. But if we don't watch it, that will pick back up because we know where Germany stands. We know where a lot of these European countries stand. They stand more with Russia than they do with us. But they need to understand that we can help them longer and better and be able to ship that over in a proper manner and being able to refine it. Obviously, we'd have to turn it into liquid gas, ship it, and then turn it into regular gas over there. But they need our energy. And, we're going to be able to produce it because we're going to open up the spigots, as President Trump says.
We can do hell, not only can we get it to them, refrigerate it, we can build the terminals. I mean, we can do the whole thing for them. All they have to do is sit back, pay some money up, and bask in energy independence. I mean, I've been trying to push this in the first term. This thing may come to fruition, change the whole geopolitics of the world, change everything. Europe coming back to the United States, getting away from Russia and all that stuff. We can do everything, our companies, you know that. We have the know-how and can do it faster and cheaper.
We need to turn them back into our allies again. Of course, they're losing their way, Larry, with immigration. As President Trump told them, y'all are getting ready to lose your countries if you don't watch it because they try to do the same thing to us. President Trump is going to be the savior probably of entire Europe from energy all the way to immigration, Larry.
Yes, sir. I like that. Agree with that. Senator Tommy Tuberville, thanks, sir. We appreciate it very, very much.